All right, let's head out to Chicago. A live look right now inside of the DNC. Fourth and final night of the Democratic National Convention. And all week, we have seen a lot of energy. We have heard from Democrat power players. But tonight, the biggest voice in that room, Vice President Kamala Harris, she will take the stage to speak to the nation and publicly accept her party's presidential nomination. And joining us now live to talk about this highly anticipated speech is NBC News' Gabe Gutierrez. Gabe, thank you so much for being here. We've seen a week of electricity out of that room.
Sure.
This night, by far a historic one. VP Harris launched into the spotlight not long ago. Now many Americans have questions about how she plans to run the country. What can we expect to hear from her tonight?
Well, hi there, Faith. Good afternoon. Yeah, what a difference a few weeks makes. When you think about it, she was not at the top of this Democratic ticket just several weeks ago. And here we are, the biggest speech of her political career. Now, we understand she has been working on it for the last several weeks, at least 2 weeks, and has been crafting that speech, making multiple trips to Howard University. And we expect this speech to really focus on her personal record as a prosecutor and really trying to reintroduce her life story to so many Americans, a primetime audience. You recall it was just 2 nights ago that her husband, Doug Emhoff, addressed this convention, and he told that personal story, but that story that touch a lot of people in this arena about their first date. That was something many of them and many Americans had never heard before, trying to humanize the vice president. And again, this comes just several weeks after she took over the top of the Democratic ticket. We also understand that a portion of the beginning of this speech tonight will focus on thanking President Biden. That's been kind of an awkward backdrop to this convention. The president, of course, addressing it the first night, but many of the speakers here have almost seemed to have moved on from President Biden, preferring instead to look forward. So we expect the vice president, again, to focus on her personal record and also to try and establish a contrast between her candidacy and what she sees as the platform of former President Trump.
Gabe, I want to ask you about the energy in that room. Energy and excitement can be felt across the country. We're watching it from our TV screens here in Georgia. Are Democrats on the ground you're talking to, are they concerned about this energy dying off before November?
Look, at this point, at least in this convention, they say they're not. But that is something that the Harris campaign is very cognizant of. They do not want to take this for granted. And they say over the next several weeks, the vice president will be traveling the country, especially to those critical battleground states. But yes, you're right. There is a concern here that this is a sugar high. Well, look, fundraising numbers, it's been pretty remarkable. According to sources familiar with the fundraising haul, the campaign has raked in around $500 million since Vice President Harris took over the ticket, and they expect to raise nearly $600 million by the end of this month. So if money is any indication, this enthusiasm does not seem to be dying off. But of course, that is a concern coming up over the next few weeks. Now, in terms of what's happening in this arena tonight, certainly there is a lot of excitement, not just for Vice President Harris's speech, but also for some big-name performers that will be here tonight. The sound check for pop superstar Pink just wrapped up a few moments ago. We also expect the Chicks to be here, and this comes, of course, after that incredible surprise address yesterday by Oprah Winfrey. She was not expected to be here. She showed up and made that passionate plea for independent voters to come out and vote.
It's been a star-studded week for sure. Gabe, thank you so much for breaking it down for us. We look forward to your reporting. And you can stay with NBC to watch Vice President Kamala Harris accept her nomination tonight on the final night of the Democratic National Convention, starting at 9 p.m. tonight. Join Lester Holt, Savannah Guthrie, and the entire NBC News team for live reporting, interviews, and analysis right here on 11 Alive.